What is up, y'all? Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to talk about wireless video transmission. We're going to take a look at the Hollyland Mars 300 Pro Enhanced. Hollyland was kind enough to send this to me to give it a little bit of a review and a test, but everything in this video is going to be my honest opinion of this product. Now, if you've been following my channel at all lately, you've probably seen my DIY cable camera rig that I've been working on for filming mountain biking. The next evolution of this rig is to be able to wirelessly control my gimbal and have a wireless video feed so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm hoping that this unit is going to help me actually achieve that. So after we look at some of the features, I'm going to show you the setup that I've put together and how I've rigged my Ronin-S for this specific purpose. First off, let's take a look at what comes in the box. You receive a transmitter, and with the enhanced version, the transmitter actually includes external antennas. These external antennas will theoretically help enhance the signal range, whereas in the standard version of the unit, the antennas are all internal. You also get a receiver, you get an extra antenna, a cold shoe mount, an additional mounting bracket, as well as a USB-C cable. Both of the units are powered by an NPF battery or can be connected via USB-C to a power source. The body of the units feels super solid and well built. It's a mix of metal and plastic, and I really have no doubt that they're going to hold up super well over time. Now, one of the really cool features of the Mars 300 Pro is that it also allows you to connect up to 3 mobile devices via the app that then can be used as field monitors. So this could be your smartphone, an iPad, and you basically could have multiple people on your team being able to connect to what you're seeing on your screen. So a really neat feature to add. You don't need a bunch of field monitors to be able to share your view with the rest of your crew. The transmitter has an HDMI in as well as an HDMI loop out. And this is really handy if you need to send that wireless signal, but also have an on-camera monitor that you need to be using at the same time. On the receiver, you get 2 HDMI outputs, and this lets you connect 2 monitors at a single time. Each of the units can be mounted via a 1/4-20 thread that's on the bottom. You can also use the mounting attachment that comes with the unit to get an additional 1/4-20 thread on the side, but there's only one of these included in the box. And this is something I really wish they would have included more, because additional mounting options is always useful when you're trying to rig out your camera. When you turn the units on, they automatically connect to each other, and I was basically up and running within a few seconds. When you're using the app, it takes a little bit more time because you need to connect to the Wi-Fi signal of the transmitter, but after that, you just open the app, hit connect, and you're good to go. So very simple setup, which I really appreciate. The 2 things that I was really curious about with this system were the latency and the range. Now, as you can see, there is a bit of latency, but the delay is pretty minimal. I'd say it's approximately 100 milliseconds, and it's even slightly less when you're using the mobile app. Now that said, if you were in a fast-paced situation needing to pull focus, maybe you have a shallow depth of field or something like that, you might find that this is a little bit sluggish to be able to nail your focus every time. Hollyland does make higher-end products that are completely latency-free, but they start at about $1,400 and go up from there. So, at a price point of $470 US, the latency of this system is acceptable. Now to test out the range of this system, let's head outside. All right, I'm out here in a local park. I'm gonna give the range on this unit a test. So I'm gonna see if this is actually gonna give me what I need to be able to run this on the cable cam. They advertise 300 feet, so we'll see if we get that. Maybe we'll get a bit longer than that, but we'll find out. So I'll just kind of pace myself out as I go, and we'll do a check of the video feed intermittently along that distance. Okay, right now I'm at about 180 feet and I still have a signal. I have line of sight still, so that's obviously helping a lot. I'm gonna go behind a bush here in a moment and we'll see what happens. Okay, we're still running here. We're at about the 300-foot mark. I can't quite see the camera. There's a little bit of foliage in the way. So we're gonna keep going, see what we get. So I just went about another 120 feet. I can't actually see the camera anymore, but I'm still getting the feed. It's gonna keep going further. Okay, I have lost the signal. You'll still see the image on the screen. Oh, there it goes. I'm gonna pace this back now and see how far I am. I'm gonna pick the signal up first. Okay, we've got the signal here. So this is the end of the range. Okay, so I paced it back to the camera and it's coming in at about 400 or 425 feet approximately of range. And that's with some line of sight issues between foliage and tree trunks, and it's working. Okay, we're back inside with the built-up rig of how this is going to work on the cable cam. And the first thing you might notice is that the camera is upside down. The Ronin is actually in its underslung mode, but I just have it sitting on its base here for demonstration purposes. When it's on the cable itself, it's going to actually have the bottom at the top hanging below the rig. So this is just to help simulate what it's going to feel like and make sure that there's clearance for all the different parts. First thing I want to talk about is where I've got the Hollyland mounted, and it's just attached onto a NATO rail that I've screwed onto the bottom of the unit, and that is connected with a magic arm to another NATO rail that's on the cage of my camera. And the reason I've done it this way is to make sure that I have no extra cables that are dangling around. You could easily mount this onto the grip of the Ronin, or the grip of whatever gimbal you're using, but in that situation, you'd have a cable that would be running down that if you wanted to do 360 degrees of movement, you'd actually end up coiling that cable up or just have issues with snagging. And since this is going to be up on a cable, not directly in front of me all the time, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to have anything come up like that. And figuring out a way to mount it on here was actually a little bit tricky. Getting the balance right wasn't as easy as I thought it would be. It took about 4 hours to kind of figure out a setup that would work. But now that I've got this, I can change out any of my lenses very easily and get the thing balanced quite quickly again. Right now, I'm running this with an NPF battery, just this small one here, but I've got a part coming in the mail that's going to allow me to connect to the Ronin's 12-volt output, and I'll be able to plug right into the USB-C of the Mars 300, and that will allow it to just be powered by the Ronin, eliminating the battery, one less thing to think about, and a little bit of less weight that I'm going to have to balance on this gimbal. The other piece that's worth taking a quick look at is my setup here as the director's monitor or the wireless monitor. So this is just a Adamus Shinobi, and I've got another NATO rail attached to the top of this, a NATO clamp, and that's just screwed into the side plate of the receiver, and I can just easily take that on and off. The whole idea here was making something that was modular. When I'm using this gimbal handheld, I use this small rig magic arm to connect to the top of the Shinobi and mount that on the side of the gimbal. And all I need to do if I want to go to cable cam is unhook that, attach this to here, and then use this magic arm on the transmission side. And I don't actually need any additional components to switch between those rigs. So the idea was trying to find something that was streamlined, super modular, and as few parts that I need to carry on the trail as possible. The other part of this setup that I don't want to spend a lot of time on this video is the wireless remote. And that is what this little piece is here. This is the receiver for the signal that is sent from this remote control. This is the FlySky FSi6S, it's quite the name. And this is just a cheap remote control airplane controller. And it gives you the basic things that you need to be able to control this. So if you're interested in seeing a video about how I set that up, drop that down in the comments below and I can put that together. But the gist of it is I'm able to control my pan as well as my tilt. And I can do these at the same time even. So I'll be able to create some really unique shots with the cable cam that I wasn't able to capture before because I didn't have a wireless signal to control the gimbal, nor a wireless signal to see what I was actually doing with that controller. That is it for this video. I really wish I could show you guys this thing in use on the trail, but a month ago, I unfortunately sprained my ankle quite badly, and I've been kind of out of commission in terms of things on the trail. On top of that, the mountain biker that I work with on a regular basis has broke his collarbone, and so we are both not out there doing this kind of work right now. But in the next month or so, we will be testing this camera out on the trail, and I will be making a video about that process and all the amazing footage that we're able to capture. Thank you again to Hollyland for sending this unit out. I think it really pulled together this rig to be able to capture some great shots. Until the next video, get out there, make something beautiful, and I will see you all soon. Peace.